Today we're checking out 5 affordable wireless products from Joyo. All 5 of these products are less than $100, and some of them I've actually been gigging with over the last couple of weeks. I've let some of my musician friends borrow them as well, and one of them I've actually used for a few years now, and it works really well. In this video, I'm going to go over them to see if it's something that's right for you. And one of these products in particular, I actually liked so much that I actually just bought a second one. Also, at the end of this video, I will be doing a giveaway to one of my subscribers. I do want to say many thanks to Joyo for sending these products over for me to check out and for sponsoring the video. Just as always, all the opinions in this video are my own. Even with a sponsored video, I always get final say in all my opinions of these products. Right off the bat, I do want to say that these are cheap wireless products. I do have a 5-minute video going over 5 different tips. I do highly recommend that you watch that if you're in the market for buying cheap and affordable wireless gear so that you understand what you're getting a little bit more. I'll link to that up above and down below. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. The giveaway that I'm going to be doing is only for subscribers, and let's go ahead and get started. So first up, we have this really cool wireless guitar instrument system that has this really cool charging case with it. So this is the system right here, and you can see that this case stores the wireless transmitter receiver as well as charges it. I'll come back to the case here in a minute, but here are the transmitters and the receivers, very tiny. You can see on the back which one is the transmitter and which one is the receiver. Plug the transmitter into your guitar and the receiver into your pedal board or your amp, and you're ready to go. It's pretty simple. Hold the logo in order to turn it on, and if you want to change channels, just push the button on the transmitter, and you can see it blinks. So it blinked twice red, that means it's on channel 2. Push it again, it'll blink 3 times red, that means it's now on channel 3, and push it again, it's now on channel 4. And it automatically syncs with the receiver. It just automatically sends it from the transmitter, which is very cool. If for some reason they're not paired, just double tap really quick on both of them. It puts it in a pairing mode, put them by each other, and then they will pair. Now here's the case that charges and holds it. So you put them in these little slots right here, and that'll store it. And then you push this button on the front and it will start charging it. The case holds a charge itself and can charge the wireless while they're in the case. And then you can just charge the case with USB-C over here. Although something cool is that it has a USB-C output over here, which is really cool. So you can see here, I'm just going to plug in to the input, and this is to charge the case itself. But on this output over here, I can plug in my iPad to that or something and charge my iPad. Pretty cool design. As far as the specs, this one transmits in 5.8 gigahertz. The range is 100 feet indoors, less than 6 milliseconds of latency, 4 different channels, and up to 5 hours of playtime with the transmitter and the receiver. The case is able to charge each of the wireless twice, and then it'll need to be recharged, and has a full frequency response of 20 hertz up to 20 kilohertz. So I will go over my experience with this later in the video, but I will just say I used it at 5 different shows and it worked flawlessly. It's worked great. Here's a quick sound test for you. If you're new to my channel, I don't really do A/B comparisons. In my opinion, the most valuable thing is can I get a usable tone out of this? And these have sounded great. And like I said, I lent it to multiple musician friends of mine, and they all liked it as well. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I actually like this product so much, I actually just ordered another one off of Amazon. I just bought it because I was going to do this as a giveaway to one of my subscribers, but I like this one so much that I ordered another one so that I could give you guys that one. And I'm going to keep this one because I actually really like this system. I think one of the only cons is that it doesn't bend. You know, some of these wireless will bend, but it is a small design, so it's not really that big of a deal. It is kind of nicer if it would bend. That'd be the only thing I would really want with this. All right, next up is another wireless guitar system that does not have a carrying case, but is a little bit cheaper. So here's the JW3 wireless right here. The thing that's nice about this one is that it can bend out, so it can go in whichever shape you want, so it doesn't stick out of the guitar, which is very nice. This is very simple. Turn it on both of them, and that's it. There's really not much else to it. If for some reason they're not linked, you can hold the link button here on the side and put them into link mode so that they pair. I mean, that's pretty standard with these very cheap wireless. If you want more features, you got to spend a little bit more money. This one does charge via micro USB. I wish it was USB-C, and I do know some of my subscribers refuse to buy anything that has micro USB, so make your decision based on that. But they do include a dual micro USB charging cable for charging the wireless. This one transmits on 2.4 gigahertz, has about 100 feet range indoors, less than 5 milliseconds of latency. It says it'll simultaneously broadcast on 4 different channels and has frequency hopping, which is pretty cool, and up to 8 hours of playtime with this one. And it also has the full frequency response. So if the other one has a carrying case and this one doesn't, why am I reviewing this one as well? Clearly, I like the one with the case better. Well, you already know this if you watched my 5-minute video on buying cheap wireless music gear, which you did watch, right? right? So I shouldn't have to say this, but the thing that I always recommend is if you buy cheap wireless gear, especially because it's so affordable, is to get 2 of them. This one right here is on 5.8 gigahertz. That's the frequency that it transmits on. And then this one transmits on 2.4 gigahertz. If I go to a show and 5.8 gigahertz is not working for me, I can easily switch to one on a different frequency. Now you have 2 wireless for about $100. And that's the biggest trick that I found when using budget wireless music gear. Again, here's a quick tone test on how this one sounds. Just remember to keep anything on 5.8 or 2.4 gigahertz away from Wi-Fi routers, at least about 10 feet. I do have a video doing a deep dive on 2.4 gigahertz if you want to go really nerdy on 2.4 gigahertz. But again, having 2 of them is what's important, and it's cool that it does the frequency hopping. Okay, next up is a wireless XLR transmitter system, and this can be used with like a dynamic microphone or a wireless for a PA system. I've actually used this one for a very long time. So here's the wireless XLR system right here. Hold the button on each side to turn them on. And then you have 4 different channels and you can see which channel you're on based on the light. And this is really cool. On the transmitter, when you push the button to change the channel, it automatically sends that channel over to the receiver. I don't have to manually set them both. It automatically sends that over, which is very cool. So you plug this one into a microphone or something like that, and the receiver you can plug into a mixer or wherever you're trying to send the signal to. However, you also can plug the transmitter into like a mixer or something like that, and then use the receiver into a PA system and use it as a wireless PA system. We do that quite a bit, actually. That is also an option. Do just keep in mind there is no option for phantom power with this wireless. This one also does charge with micro USB, but the cable is included. This one transmits on 5.8 gigahertz. It has about 100 feet range, less than 5 milliseconds of latency, and a little over 4 hours of working time. And it also has the full frequency response as well. So this product is actually the reason why I took the sponsored video. I get a lot of offers to do a lot of different videos and I turn a lot of them down, but I actually wanted to do this one because of the fact that I've used this one for so long. You might notice that there's another product that looks almost exactly like this. It's basically the same unit, and I did reach out to Joyo as well, and they did confirm it's like a sister company or somehow they're tied together. I'm not exactly sure, but it's basically the exact same unit. My wife and I are fortunate. A lot of times we get to travel to places like Cancun, Bahamas, Mexico, and stuff like that and perform live. We have brought this one especially to those all the time, and it works so well just constantly. I've also used it with my band. My singer also has one of these. My singer uses it all the time for a PA system. It works really well. It's a pretty cool system. Here's a tone test just going into a standard SM58. That's the most common microphone, so that's the way I'm going to test it. I'm going to do some with processing and then some dry. You can see I am talking now into just a standard SM58 with the wireless adapter. This is with no processing, just in the way that it would sound. Most common mic. And now here's how it sounds with processing in the way that I would kind of mix it. Again, completely usable. I use this all the time live. I think it sounds great. I haven't noticed any issues with it. Do just keep in mind there's only 4 channels on this wireless system. Does that mean you are buying the most bulletproof, never going to fail wireless system? No, there's 4 channels with it. However, I can just say with my experience, it has been extremely reliable. I did bring it to Canada. We had a lot of trouble with it up there, so we had to switch to a cable. That's what you get when you buy cheap wireless. If you don't want that risk, or if you want to minimize that risk, you got to spend more money. However, at this price point, this system has just been incredibly reliable. All right, next up, we have a wireless Bluetooth foot pedal for like scrolling lyrics and charts and stuff like that. So here's the pedal right here. You can see you have a different pedal on the left and the right. Turn on the power right here, and you can push the mode button to cycle between 5 different modes based on how you plan to use it. The first or the second one seemed to work the best for me. You also have this repeat over here. My understanding is that if it's on, you can hold one of the pedals to send something and then release it to send something else. But it didn't really need that with what I use it for just turning pages for sheet music and stuff like that. But you can see on my iPad, it finds it just as a standard Bluetooth device. Then if I load up an app like Fourscore or something like that, it just automatically works. I didn't have to do anything else. You can see when I push the button, it scrolls through the different pages, and I can go back as well. So if you use Fourscore or OnSong or something like that, this seems to work well with it. However, I personally use Stage Tracks, and when I went to try to find a MIDI device, it does not find this one because this one is not Bluetooth LE. So if you plan to use this with Stage Tracks or anything that needs Bluetooth LE, it is not going to work with it. But yeah, it charges via USB-C, and the cable for that is provided. And the battery life on this one will last over 60 hours once it's fully charged. I know I've seen our violin player use something like this when we perform for ceremonies and she's reading sheet music and stuff like that. The biggest downfall for this one is that it doesn't work with Bluetooth LE. I don't know if that's common for something like this or not. For me, it's not really worth it because I use Stage Tracks and that's what Stage Tracks uses. But if you use something like Fourscore or something that does just work with standard Bluetooth, then it's definitely worth looking into. I use Stage Tracks, so this isn't for me personally, but it is still a good option if you need it. And then last but not least, I'm going to mention this one just briefly. This is a wireless audio interface for live streaming. I did mention to them that that's not really what my channel is about. I don't really do live streaming stuff like that, but it is still a wireless product. It is pretty handy if you want to stream audio from like a guitar or an amp or something like that into your phone for live streaming. Like I said, it's not really what my channel is about, but Joyo was kind enough to send this over so that I could still include this in the giveaway as well. And then plus my OCD for numbers, 5 just sounds better than 4 wireless products. So this is the 5th one. But let me go over my experience with you with how all of these work. So the first show I did with it, I actually just brought just this guy. It was a show that we did up in Wyoming. It was a really cool little ranch that we played at. It was a corporate event. We had 2 different sets that night. We had to play kind of like an acoustic set down by the creek. Really pretty location, by the way. And then we kind of played the main set elsewhere. With that main set, I brought my high-end wireless. But for that little acoustic set that we did, I brought this guy. It worked really solid. I had no problems with it. Probably a little risky to try a brand new wireless at a corporate event, but it worked completely fine. I then did a show with this at a wedding the next day, actually. It was really nice that after that Wyoming show, we stayed up there. I just put these into their case, let it charge, and it charged overnight. I didn't have to worry about charging it later. Brought it to my next show, and I lent this to my other guitar player that night, and it worked out fantastic. I asked him how it worked. He said it was great, never got any dropouts or anything like that. I also used this wireless microphone system for the speeches. They needed 2 microphones, actually. I only brought 1, so I was like, well, luckily I have this one now. I used this for the second one, worked flawlessly. They had no issues with it. Do just remember, always just have direct line of sight, so I did move it up close to the front of the stage so that there was always direct line of sight. But both of these worked great at that show as well. For the 3rd show, I did another wedding with a different band, and I let my singer use this system on his acoustic guitar. Worked great, had no problems. He liked this system as well. He was asking about it. He might actually buy one himself. The 4th show, I just did a simple acoustic duo with my wife. I used this on my guitar, and she used this one on her vocal mic. Worked insanely well. I used it with a battery-powered speaker that I'm also working on doing a review of, but it's really cool because this was a fully battery-powered setup. Just like a Tuesday afternoon, we just played an acoustic set at like a restaurant. Really great, needed no power, no cables anywhere, battery-powered PA, battery-powered guitar system, battery-powered wireless for vocals. So easy. It worked out great. And then the 5th show, something very similar. We also played another patio show. It was me and my wife on that one. Just again, another duo show. I used this one on my vocal mic, had no problems. And I let her use this one on her acoustic guitar, and she had no problems with it. So you might ask, well, why didn't I use the 2.4 gigahertz one, especially if I'm trying out, wireless products? My experience is that 5.8 gigahertz is much more reliable than 2.4 gigahertz. So to me, this was the main one that I used. If I had problems with it, I would switch to a different one, such as this one. But this one didn't let me down at all. So I didn't have to switch to another one. Especially at this price point, how easy it is to travel with these, especially for my Duo. These products just work extremely well. So if you are interested in purchasing any of these products, I will have links down below so that you can check these out for yourself. Again, many thanks to Joyo for sending these over for me to check out for the channel. And like I said, I am going to be doing a giveaway to one of my subscribers where I'm going to be giving away all 5 of these products. I already own this XLR system, and like I said, I ordered a second one just so I could do this giveaway. I always try to do giveaways as often as I can. Truly grateful for the growth of the channel, and it's a way that I can give back to you guys. Thank you for all the support over these years and for continuing to help the channel grow. So in order to win, 2 things. 1, you have to be a subscriber. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And the second, you have to leave a comment down below using the magic phrase. You can say whatever you want down below in the comment section, just as long as at some point you say the magic phrase. Magic phrase for this video is Pop-Tarts. You have 24 hours to enter the giveaway, so be sure to leave that comment down below. I will announce the winner on this date right here. Please remember, do not respond to scammers. Sometimes scammers show up in the comment section when I do giveaways. Just remember, I will never ask you for money, ever, period. Not for shipping or whatever clever reason they say that you need to send them money. If someone is pretending to be me and then they start asking you for money, that is a scammer 100%. please do not fall for scammers. So thank you guys again for watching. If you guys did find this video helpful, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It truly does help feed the YouTube algorithm gods and help the channel grow, and I would appreciate it. If you haven't watched my 5-minute video on buying cheap wireless music gear, I highly recommend that you watch that video. And if you want to go more in depth with wireless music gear, check out my full buying guide that I have going over from cheap to budget friendly to entry level to professional level to high-end wireless. You can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Scott Ewell Music. I post a lot of my stories of me at my shows, so you can see some of the gear that I'm using. If you have any other cool gear you want me to check out, leave a comment down below. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.